Mark is a Manchester City fan. Mark, good afternoon to you.
Hi lads, good afternoon.
Thank you very much. Mark, where are you this lunchtime with this European Super League, the notion of it?
Well, there's a couple of points. I mean, I tend to agree with Simon. I doubt it'll happen because I can't see the amount of internationals representing all the clubs saying they're not going to play for their specific countries. It's just the principle of it, Jim. I've been a season ticket holder for 45 years at City, and it's just the principle that they've gone and done this along with the other clubs. So if he did go through, I'll just go and support Macclesfield. They won't get another penny out of me.
Really? Be over for you? That would be it? You'd finish with the club?
Yeah, dead right, 'cause it's just greed.
There you go, Simon. The fans are speaking this lunchtime, and to a man, they're not having it.
Listen, I mean, I understand, and I'm absolutely in the same place. But when people say greed, which greed is greater? The greed for the clubs to get revenue to pay the players, or the players for taking the money in the first place? Which is the worst greed? All of these clubs are losing hundreds of millions of pounds per year. Where is this greed side of things? Because they're trying to... The establishment of a league that has no qualification and shuts a door behind it, rubbish. That shouldn't be part of football, and that's what we're talking about. But the pursuit of greed, who's getting rich here?
Well, because where does it stop, I suppose, is what they're thinking.
Who's
Who's
getting rich then? These clubs are losing £100 million each a year.
But they weren't.
They've been losing... This was 2 years ago, Dan. This is before COVID. They lost 1.2 billion, these 12 clubs, before COVID.
But then who's managing the money and the finances that badly?
FFP is supposed to be managing it, and they don't want that either. So you've got the Premier League for the last 5 years, as a matter of fact, has lost £500 million every year. How long does this go on before someone says one thing, increase the revenue or reduce the player wages? Reduce the player wages? No. Of course not.
But I concur with you on that.
So what do you do then? So you find
a
a better solution than this ugly, horrible, sort of ghastly, mutated little freak show that they want to put in front of everybody and see who's going to bend over and take it, right? And you find a different methodology. But the idea that it's just greed, because how do these clubs generate more revenue for the... You've now got players like Kevin De Bruyne that expect to get 400 grand a week. A couple of years ago, it was 100 grand a week. Now it's the top players on 400 grand a week. Who's going to pay for this then? Who's going to pay for it?
Yeah, so what you're saying is they're looking at ways of getting more finance to protect themselves, to protect their assets and grow their club.
Not this horrible little goblin of a sideshow that they're trying to put up on people.
Yeah, but Simon, wait a minute. No one is assuming that this is going to continue to be a sideshow. This is happening. This is real. This is real.
And it is a sideshow.
Wenger told us this morning it's dangerous.
If they want to have their cake and eat it, what people, I think some people are missing, and I'm not superimposing across everybody, is that they're not proposing these clubs to come out of the domestic league.
No,
they're not.
Right. What's happening is the domestic league are saying, if you do that, you are potentially coming out of it. We're going to throw you out of it.
Yeah, but it's probably going to go one way, isn't it?
Well, which way is it going to go then?
Ultimately, it could lead to that.
Right.
But we're at this lunchtime. What's the point West Ham finishing fourth when they can't get into this super elite club?
Of course, Jim. But the 14 clubs in the Premier League have got to have the courage of their convictions then, because they've got to turn around to those clubs and say, if you do this, right, you're out.
Yeah.
Right? And then they've got to go back to your lovely lot over at Sky and say, of course you love football and you're going to keep on funding us the same way. And Sky are going to go, no, because we haven't got Man United. And there becomes the circle that everyone's got.
Maybe it takes that to get us to where we need to go.
I think it does.
I think it does too.
I think it does. I think throw them out.
Former Manchester City directors just tweeted me, Chris Bird. He said, I resigned from City in 2003 on principle. Today I would have done the same. There is an enormous...
Throw them out, break away, repackage the league with other clubs from the Championship and go again.
There's an enormous swell of opposition to this, Simon. It is undeniable. We're going to finish with Danny, who's a big Manchester United fan who's waited patiently to come on. Danny, good afternoon.
Hi Jim, how's it going, mate?
Good, mate. Quiet one in here. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Sun shining in Manchester for a change.
Yeah, that is a change.
Danny, finish this off for us today, mate. You have centre stage.
Yeah, so I mean, I've had a season ticket for about 7-8 years now, but if it goes through, I'll be done, mate. And I think a lot of the lads who I go to game with have all said the same thing. It's just ludicrous. I think the fans have been forgotten about a long time ago, but this is the final nail in the coffin. It's just crazy.
Explain why you're so strong on it.
Well, especially with obviously being from Manchester, working class city. It's obviously very expensive to go to the games, and I think people put their lives into it, and you know it's a positive thing in negative times, and it just shows that they don't care about us anymore, don't they? All they care about is money, and I'm a very, very avid hater of the Glazers and Woodward and everything to do with that, and it just just proves they don't care about the club at all.
What would you say to Danny before he goes this lunchtime, Simon? Obviously, he's got his own ideas on this. He's not having it. He's speaking for many. Many United fans are saying the same. I'm looking at the messages coming in. Many City fans are saying the same.
What would I say?
We asked for them to come forward. They come forward in numbers. What would you say this lunchtime to the supporters? You're still of the opinion this is not going to end up happening?
No, I don't think it will. I think also there's a real jeopardy here because if you break up the EFL and take 6 teams out of the Championship, the Sky deal can be rescinded. I wonder if 6 teams coming out of the Premier League can rescind the Sky deal with the Premier League. So there's a whole raft of jeopardy here. But the fans have an absolute right. The football clubs belong to the fans. I always understood that at Palace. I understood that the greatest obligation you have is to the fans that support the club, and they'll have their view, and people will see what reaction they give to it. I guarantee if they can get it done and the Premier League were to bend over, they'd still do it, but they won't be able to do it because the Premier League will stop them.